Hey everyone, it's Raquel Bowman here, and I'm super excited to be joining Gwen's Documenting December Stash Bust YouTube hop. Gee, that was a mouthful, but I am really excited to be here. I'm excited to stash bust some Christmas supplies and document a photo taken this year. So I'll share my photo with you first, and then I will share some cut files that I got from the Cut to You store, which I'm going to use on this layout. And I decided to use non-themed or non-Christmassy, non-Christmas cut file for this layout. And I also delved into an older Christmas stash that I just adore. So firstly, my photo is taken from this year's Elf on the Shelf. We have Snowflake and Chippy. My kids love the Elf on the Shelf movie, and they were the characters, or two of the characters. Chippy is the main character, and so of course ours were named after them. They come along on one of the mornings with a stay 1.5 meters apart sign. They had their masks on. They had a little wash your hands sign in the background. And they also come with certification that they had been quarantined successfully and that Chippy was a essential worker. So I guess they have taken a bit of a take on the year that we have had, which has been an enormous year for everyone around the world. Us in Victoria had some ups and downs, and I think that at the moment in Victoria, we can be proud to say that are we up to 40 days COVID free, which is a huge achievement and accomplishment from everyone working together. So I'm not going to talk politics, but it certainly has been just a year that no one will ever forget. In terms of me being a primary school teacher, it's been a year that I would love to not have to relive. It's been a huge year, and I'm seeing the end picture now of this year finishing, though I am sad to be leaving my current group because of the year that we have had. We haven't really had that much time together face to face, but let's get into the layout. So I have my photo. Now that is of course going to be my focal point, but I do have these gorgeous scalloped cut files. They come in, I think it was the set of 3. Possibly there was one more, but I work with odd numbers a lot of the time. I think the 4th one was a solid scallop and because I've cut it in white, I just thought, no, I want to pop this off the page and add some backing. Now I've decided that I'm not going to back individual scallops, but I'm going to back the whole thing with a pattern paper and then fussy cut around. I don't know what pattern papers, I have no idea, but the collection that I am using is the Fa La La collection by Crepe Paper. And this is, well, it says here 2017 Crepe Paper ink. So I'm assuming that this was the Christmas collection from 2017. And you know what? It very well could be. I actually have no idea at all, but I do know that I have a decent amount of bits and pieces in my stash. And I'm just really excited to play with the collection, to play with some embellishments. I love layering ephemera, and I have bits and pieces of the ephemera pack. I also have the chipboard stickers. The chipboard stickers, I tend to peel some layers off so they're not quite so dimensional and thick. And then I have just a variety of the papers. So if I just flick through, I love that. It's just amazing. actually, this is my order form. So, yeah, 2017, there you go. Oh my goodness. And you know what? It's still just as beautiful as when I bought it. Now, I bought 2 of a couple of the papers. Can you tell what I was really feeling at the time? I think that would be really nice to back the layout actually. So I'm going to set that aside. And of course in Australia, I tend to not really do a lot of the whole snowman thing considering we have our summer. Oh, that's nice too. So I do have the greenery in the trees. So you know what? As I always sort of begin my videos, I am just going to play and see where this takes me. Because I do just sometimes let the layout do the talking and it just happens. So I also do have the 6x6 paper pad, but actually that might be good for backing the cut file. I just will have to do it in sort of 2 sections just because the print is smaller. So say for example, if I decided to use something like this, you're actually going to see the pattern. Okay, I've talked that through myself and I think I've worked out that's what I'll do. So I'm going to just get creating. I'm going to maybe catch up on some of the previous YouTube hop because I haven't had a chance to get onto YouTube at all this past couple of weeks. School is very hectic. We are preparing for our new year because our school year in Australia finishes around the 18th of December and then we begin again towards the end of January. So we're nearing the end of the year and then preparing obviously for our 2021 year. So as well as doing the mummy stuff, I'm doing the teacher stuff and I'm going to enjoy some YouTube while I create. And I will, yep, let's see where this goes. Wow, now that was a huge intro and I apologize for being so long-winded. I just looked at the time and yeah, it was a long one. Can you tell that maybe I have missed creating process videos and talking to you all? Yeah, I think I have. Hopefully over the holidays I'll get a better chance to get some creating done. So as you can see, let's get onto the layout. And as you can see, I have backed my white cardstock with that gorgeous buffalo plaid print. And I gutted the middle because I couldn't bear to waste it. And then I've grabbed the 6x6 paper as I thought I would, and using the smaller red print, I'm just backing those 3 cut files. So I go with a combination of that red paper and then that green that you can see me using there. And that really just ties in and complements the photos so beautifully with those little touches of greenery in Chippy and Snowflake's house. My final scallop there, I had a bit of trouble deciding what I was going to use, what print in particular, and I ended up going for that red design again. With my photo, it is printed on a Canon selfie. I do have a Picturemate, but I have the old version. We can't actually get the 5x7 version here in Australia. And so that's been playing up a bit. So I pulled out the selfie and printed this photo. And I edited it first on Pic Collage just to make it slightly smaller. I hate how the selfie cuts off those edges, doesn't give you that nice white border unless you do some editing, but I did want the photo a bit smaller. A 4x6 on an 8.5x11 layout can be quite large, and I tend to print a smaller size photo. This particular photo probably could have been just a little bit bigger, but by the time I add embellishing, I fit my journaling in, which was a bit more detailed. It worked perfectly anyway. So what you can see me layering under the photo is some sort of flag banners, fishtail banners, and I do that by pinching the ends together or folding the ends together and then cutting out a triangular shape, and that creates that gorgeous fishtail end. And I've done that just as a nice layered element behind that photo. When I saw that gorgeous Merry flag, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can nestle that in to the top left of the photo, and I just loved how that looked. And then I decided, because I was nestling that there, that would be an embellishment cluster that, you know, I will layer and create a heaviness to that edge. So I add some journaling cards, which you saw me at the start sifting through and trying to find some ephemera pieces that would work. And I also use one of the tags, which I love tags. I did find in my stash that I had the little paper clips, so I used that star paper clip to sort of adhere and secure that Merry in place. And I do grab out some of the chipboard that Believe is a chipboard piece. The tree was a chipboard piece. And I flick through and look through the stickers, as you can see on my hand. And those presents I decided to layer to the right of the photo. I tend to use my hands to store my foam adhesive if I'm cutting smaller pieces, or my stickers. I've lost my EK Success powder applicator tool. I know it's somewhere in my little stash of tools, but I thought I'll take some of that adhesive off on my hand while I'm creating, and then adhere it once I'm ready to get that layer completed and that embellishment cluster to the right completed. With my actual behind my photo, I do add some stitching, and off camera I've stitched a border around the entire edge, and I've also stitched that sort of flag banner in place. And that fishtail banner is also just adhered directly to the page, because I feel like all of that layered edges bring enough dimension to the layout. The actual photo has a foam adhesive. It's a foam adhesive that comes in a sheet, and then now I'm working on using my tape. As you can see, it's stuck all over my hand to add some dimension to the embellishments that I'm adding to the page. So those presents are adhered with the foam adhesive, and I actually fold this foam adhesive over a couple of times sometimes to add that extra depth and dimension. This particular foam adhesive I've created a video about. It could have even been a couple of years ago now. It's a Bunnings roll. It's like $10. It's so economical, especially if you love foam adhesive like I do. It definitely isn't, I don't think, acid free, but I never adhere it directly behind a photo, and I always have layers of paper behind photos, so I'm really not concerned, to be completely honest. And then I use a variety of glue dots as well to adhere bits and pieces down. Now you can see I'm using the Nouveau adhesive. I think I mentioned in a previous video that my lovely Miss Charlotte had ruined the tip of my fine tip applicator, which I've had for so long, so I'm really missing that for creating, but I'm making do with what I have, because that's just what we do, and it really isn't the end of the world. And now I'm just going through and I'm adding my journaling. So I did definitely have a story to tell on this layout, and I really wanted to document the arrival of Chippy and Snowflake and that different way that they arrived, which I mentioned to you at the beginning chat of this layout. So the actual process video has definitely been a bit shorter than even my introduction, but I hope that you've really enjoyed reconnecting with me through this hop. I had a really lovely time creating this layout and just talking with you about one of my favorite things ever, which is scrapbooking and documenting our lives. I'm leaving you now with some close-ups. Thanks so much, Gwen, for inviting me on your stash bust hop, and yeah, be sure to check out the links below, which will share the process videos so far. Bye everyone.